My boyfriend single-handedly saved my friend's poorly planned disaster wedding. My best friend of 23 years announced in July that she was engaged and asked me to be her maid of honor. Honestly, I didn't think our friendship was that close after being out of high school for 18 years, but I said yes. Planning started fine but slowly devolved into chaos. S is extremely particular, wanting everything for her wedding to be exactly as she envisioned, while also having a dime store budget, straight up cheap. She insisted on hosting the reception in her LDS church gym, but also declared it hideous and demanded full wall, floor-to-ceiling pipe and drape and ceiling bistro lights. Despite wanting all this, she was unwilling to pay for it and constantly complained about the cost. I finally stepped back from planning in August because she was too demanding and exhausting. I told her my boyfriend and I would help her with some of the wedding setup the day before, so she could order the cheaper pipe and drape package, and left her to handle the rest. I did, however, throw her a bridal shower last weekend with her cousin's help. Fast forward 8 weeks. She didn't even send out her invitations until 3 weeks before the wedding. She had a 250-person guest list, insisted everyone would come, and decided not to serve real food, just cheesecakes and wedding sheet cake. My boyfriend tried to tell her double dessert was a bad idea, but she was adamant. She told us to be at the LDS church at 7 a.m. the day before the wedding. My boyfriend and I were confused about why she needed us so early, but figured it'd be maybe 4 hours, setting up tables and chairs, putting on linens, placing centerpieces, assembling the pipe and drape, and done. She gave me a list of 8 people who were supposed to help, but no one showed up except us and her fiancé. My boyfriend quickly and efficiently got all the tables arranged. I got the chairs out. S bounced around the room in a panic, unable to decide how she wanted the tables configured. Her fiancé just stood there and watched. Finally, after half an hour of S changing her mind on table placement, my boyfriend said, "Nope. We aren't changing it again. This orientation is beautiful, and you're going to love it." He has far better communication skills than me. She even panicked that the 6-foot-long gift table wouldn't be large enough for all her gifts. My boyfriend had to leave the room so he wouldn't laugh. I assured her it would be fine. I thought we were close to being done. Wrong. This woman apparently hadn't done anything until that day. She bought a bunch of cheap dollar store junk, threw it all in a giant tote, and left it. She ordered linens from Shine and just tossed them in a box, never opened, checked, or ironed. At 8:30 a.m., she opened the box and told us she needed all the leaves cut off the garland because she wanted them scattered loose on the tables. She wanted pumpkins glued to her centerpieces, tea lights opened with batteries installed, 27 tablecloths and runners ironed, napkins ironed, and she still needed to figure out her bouquet. I about died when I saw how unprepared she was. My boyfriend was fuming. S was completely incapable of figuring out where to start. She needed someone to go to Costco to buy 9 cheesecakes, go to the bakery 45 minutes away to pick up the wedding cake and sheet cake, and purchase and assemble wedding flowers into a bouquet. She wanted me to go to a florist and call her on Zoom to show her flowers while she sat at the venue waiting for the pipe and drape delivery. My boyfriend said straight up no. He told her we'd go to Costco, buy all white flowers and her cheesecakes. She claimed she'll repay us. She begged us to Zoom her from the store, and he said, "We're doing all white. Text us the flowers you hate so we can avoid them. Bye, we gotta move fast." She tried to ask if we could go to several stores to find irises, and he very kindly told her no. If she wanted irises, she should have ordered them earlier. "You'll get what Costco has, but don't worry, it'll be beautiful, and you'll love it." We ran the errands: Costco cheesecakes, sauces, flowers, ribbon, floral pins. Her job was to go home and get her iron and ironing board. She said she was going to toss some tablecloths in her dryer with a wet towel to steam the wrinkles. Perfect. We came back at 10:30 a.m. She hadn't left. I don't even know what she was doing. My boyfriend and I spent 2 hours building her a beautiful wedding bouquet. We found a pre-made one with some nice rust-colored flowers and took a risk, buying that and some white roses. We had enough left for bridesmaid bouquets too. Trust me, this bouquet was gorgeous. I couldn't have done it better myself. He then pre-cut her cheesecakes, assembled the pipe and drape, while she just freaked out around us. Her mom and sister showed up, and I asked them to go to her house to put linens in the dryer and return with the iron. They left, but had to drive 45 minutes away to pick up her wedding and sheet cakes. I told them fine, but please bring the iron. They didn't. She didn't provide any food for us at all, so we left for lunch and came back at 1 p.m. to find out she didn't even own an iron. The wedding cake barely fit in the fridge next to the cheesecakes, and the sheet cake didn't fit at all. We had to leave it on the counter and hope the buttercream held up overnight. We still had the rehearsal dinner to get ready for, paid for by the fiancé's family. We finally had to leave, and I told her I'd come back after dinner to help iron. Dinner took forever. I sent my boyfriend home. He was exhausted, and doesn't even really know her. Then she dropped the bombshell: she wasn't coming to help us iron because she was moving out of her parents' house into her fiancé's apartment that night. Her sister and I told her to wait until after the honeymoon. It was her parents' house, her stuff was fine, but she was adamant. So I left dinner to go back to the church and start ironing, and called my mom to gripe for 30 minutes. My mom ended up driving over to help me. The rest of the night was me, my mom, Essa's disabled sister, and her 80-year-old mother ironing linens with my iron, my mom's iron, and a cheap steamer we bought at Walmart. She left me a written list of instructions for how to set up each table exactly right. She also left all the bridesmaid dresses, her petticoat, and her wedding dress hanging in the church for me to steam, and told us to bring them to her mom's house. I didn't leave until 1 a.m. I was furious she didn't even get her dress professionally steamed. And after all that, she forgot her bouquet in the church fridge, after I told her to bring it home. I didn't even realize until 5 a.m., when I broke down crying because I knew she'd call and ask me to drive 45 minutes to bring it to her. Sure enough, she called that morning asking me to unlock the church so she could get it. Keep in mind, I wasn't invited to the wedding because it was at the LDS temple and I'm a heathen. Then she told me she needed my boyfriend and me to get to the reception 2 hours early, finish setup, figure out the lighting, and manage her food table during the reception, cutting and plating cheesecake and sheet cake, adding caramel or fruit drizzle, bringing it to tables, refilling water, etc. She said her family would obviously want to mingle with guests. She didn't plan for water dispensers, didn't have a cake tray for the turquoise wedding cake, so I brought my servingware from home, our cake tray, glass dispensers, and pitchers. My mom was so pissed on my behalf that she RSVP'd to the wedding, but still loaned me her glass dispensers. S also asked us to buy ice and slice lemons. At that point, I just didn't care anymore. She did not get lemon water at her reception. The reception ended up being me, my boyfriend, and 2 of our kids acting as unpaid cater waiters. She was an hour late because she didn't plan photo time at the temple and forgot to leave me the guest book. So I spent an hour entertaining confused, cranky guests. No one wanted dessert until she arrived. Her dopey fiancé left their rings at his house and showed up 30 minutes late. At one point, when cheesecakes were running low, someone walked up and said, "S noticed the cheesecake table needs to be refreshed." Thanks. Excuse me, what? She then had 4 pages of photos to take outside the church. The photographer did them backward, starting small instead of large, so people stood outside for over an hour while guests sat inside, confused. I was outside for the bridesmaid photo while my boyfriend ran the food. She finally came back in, cut the cake, changed, and left. She asked me to box up any leftover cheesecakes, her wedding cake, and the entire sheet cake, which her mom paid for, so she could take them home. No surprise, no one wanted double dessert. Out of 9 cheesecakes, 4 were untouched. The entire wedding cake, minus 1 slice, and almost the entire sheet cake, 90 of 96 slices, were left. She fully planned to take home all 4 leftover cheesecakes that we bought, the 96-person sheet cake and her wedding cake, somehow fit them all in her tiny fridge, and leave them there for a week while on her honeymoon. She wasn't sharing with anyone, not her bridal party, not her family, none of whom got paid for setting up and running the reception. My boyfriend was incredulous. He was actually cursing in the church, he was so mad. He said no. He boxed her wedding cake, didn't wrap it, and put it aside. Then he took 2 cheesecakes and loaded them in our car for our family dinner that night. He boxed up half the sheet cake for me to bring to work and left the rest for anyone staying behind to clean. S was already gone, off to the anniversary and to lose her V card, while we, her family, and a few kind ward members tore everything down, boxed centerpieces, cleaned the church, and hauled everything out. We got home around 6 p.m., physically in pain, furious, and gave all our kids full stars on their chore charts. They get a prize at 10, so each got 1. I don't even feel like I attended a wedding. I feel like I catered one against my will. My boyfriend did most of the work, assembling backdrops, tables, breaking everything down, lifting, making 5 bouquets, running the catering, cleaning the kitchen. I steamed 5 bridesmaid dresses and the wedding dress, and ironed 27 tablecloths. Many family members personally thanked us. S's mom cried and said she prays for our health and happiness every morning. The fiancé's family thanked us and even offered to pay us, which honestly felt weird because they should have hired actual reception staff. S gave us a quick thanks and bounced. I don't expect to hear from her for months. Everything about the wedding screamed cheap and tacky: Dollar Tree decorations, plastic lanterns with pumpkins glued on the day before, wrinkly teal shine tablecloths, hosted in the free church gym complete with basketball hoop. Her wedding cake was teal with orange pumpkins piped on top. Out of 250 invited guests, maybe 100 came. There were about 7 gifts total on the 2 small table and 4 cards. I assume most people used Amazon. My boyfriend said, "It's giving Mormon pregnancy wedding," which we thought was hilarious, because we're all 36 and definitely too old for this mid-2000s Dollar General Pinterest board wedding nonsense.